by the chocolate cartel. You can't get a shop without selling chocolate, and you can't sell chocolate without a shop.
Wonka unfolds as a whimsical yet emotionally grounded origin story that explores how imagination, resilience, and kindness shape a legend long before the world comes to know his name. The film presents a younger version of Willy Wonka, not as the eccentric chocolatier already confident in his genius, but as a hopeful dreamer navigating a world that often resists creativity. From the very beginning, the tone blends fantasy with heartfelt realism, inviting the audience into a story about ambition, perseverance, and the courage to remain joyful in the face of hardship, set in a vibrant yet challenging world. The story introduces Willy as a young man arriving in a bustling city with little more than a suitcase, a pocket full of ideas, and an unshakable belief in the power of chocolate to make people happy. His surroundings are colorful but unforgiving, filled with rigid systems, unspoken rules, and powerful figures who control success. This contrast immediately establishes the central conflict. A pure imagination trying to survive in a place where creativity is treated as a threat rather than a gift. Willy's personality is shaped by warmth and optimism rather than eccentricity alone. He is curious, empathetic, and deeply inspired by memories of family, love, and the simple joy of sharing something handmade. Chocolate, for him, is not just a product, but a language of emotion and connection. Each recipe he imagines carries meaning, reflecting his belief that sweetness can soften even the hardest hearts. This emotional motivation gives depth to his journey, transforming it from a simple rise-to-success narrative into a story about staying true to oneself. The supporting cast plays a significant role in shaping Willy's path. He encounters a group of outsiders and dreamers, people overlooked or trapped by circumstance who see something special in his ideas. These characters form an unlikely community bound by shared struggle and hope. Their interactions bring humor, warmth, and emotional grounding to the story, emphasizing that success is rarely achieved alone. Through these relationships, Willy learns the value of trust, collaboration, and believing in others as much as he believes in his dreams. Opposing Willy are figures who represent control, greed, and fear of change. Established chocolatiers dominate the city, guarding their influence and profits with rigid rules and manipulation. They see Willy's creativity as a danger to their carefully maintained order. Rather than outright villains, they are portrayed as products of a system that rewards conformity and punishes innovation. This makes the conflict more layered, highlighting how systems can suppress creativity even without overt cruelty. The plot follows Willy's attempts to introduce his chocolate to the world. Each effort met with obstacles that test his patience and resolve. Financial hardship, unfair laws, and exploitation push him to the brink, forcing him to confront the gap between dreams and reality. Yet, even in moments of despair, his imagination refuses to fade. Musical sequences and visual flourishes emerge naturally from these moments, reflecting how creativity becomes his coping mechanism and source of strength. As the story progresses, Willy's optimism is challenged but never fully broken. He experiences betrayal, disappointment, and moments of self-doubt that threaten to harden him. These moments are crucial, showing that his later eccentric confidence is forged through struggle rather than gifted by talent alone. The film emphasizes that kindness is not naivety, but a choice that requires strength. Especially when the world offers little reason to remain gentle, the narrative also explores themes of exploitation and freedom. Some characters are trapped in unfair arrangements, forced to trade their labor and dreams for survival. Willy's refusal to accept this injustice becomes a turning point, aligning his personal success with the liberation of others. His journey shifts from individual ambition to collective empowerment, reinforcing the idea that true success is measured by how many people you uplift along the way. Visually, the film embraces a storybook aesthetic filled with color, motion, and playful detail. The city feels alive, its streets echoing with opportunity and danger alike. Chocolate creations are depicted as magical yet tangible, emphasizing craftsmanship rather than illusion. These visuals support the film's emotional tone, making imagination feel accessible rather than distant. Music flows through the narrative as an extension of character emotion, enhancing joy, sadness, and hope without overpowering the story. The pacing balances lighthearted wonder with emotional depth. Moments of humor and spectacle are offset by quieter scenes of reflection, allowing character growth to feel organic. Willy's development is gradual, shaped by experience rather than sudden revelation. Each setback teaches him something new about resilience, fairness, and the responsibility that comes with influence. As Willy begins to gain recognition, the story resists portraying success as a simple victory. Attention brings new challenges, forcing him to choose between compromise and integrity. The temptation to conform grows stronger as stakes rise, testing whether his values can survive success. These moments deepen the narrative, showing that the true test of character often comes after achieving one's goals. The film's emotional peak centers on Willy's understanding of legacy. He reflects on why he started, who he wants to become, and what kind of world he wishes to contribute to. This introspection ties back to themes of family, memory, and the enduring power of simple joy. Chocolate becomes a metaphor for creativity itself, something meant to be shared freely, not hoarded or controlled. The resolution of the story offers hope without erasing hardship. Victories feel earned, shaped by courage, cleverness, and collective effort. The world does not transform overnight, but cracks begin to appear in systems that once seemed unbreakable. Willy emerges not as a flawless hero, but as a young man who has learned how to protect his imagination without losing compassion. The ending subtly connects this origin story to the legend audiences recognize, hinting at the eccentricities and philosophies that will define Willy Wonka in the future. These elements feel like natural extensions of his experiences rather than forced references. The film avoids excessive nostalgia, focusing instead on emotional continuity and character truth. The release of the film is framed as a celebration of imagination and storytelling. Trailer moments implied within the narrative emphasize wonder, music, and heartfelt emotion, showcasing a world where creativity is both joyful and rebellious. The marketing tone suggests a story that appeals across generations, offering charm for younger viewers and deeper themes for older audiences. Audience anticipation centers on the film's balance between fantasy and meaning. Viewers are invited not just to witness the creation of a famous figure, but to reflect on their own relationship with dreams, obstacles, and kindness. The story resonates because it addresses universal experiences, wanting to belong, daring to imagine, and choosing optimism in a world that often discourages it. Ultimately, Wonka is less about chocolate and more about the spirit behind it. It tells a story of how joy can be an act of defiance, how creativity can challenge systems, and how kindness can endure even when tested. The film suggests that imagination is not something we outgrow, but something we protect through courage and compassion. By the final moments, the audience is left with a sense of warmth and reflection. The journey feels complete yet open-ended, honoring the idea that legends are not born fully formed, but shaped by countless small choices. Wonka presents a world where sweetness is earned, laughter is powerful, and dreams survive not because they are easy, but because they are worth fighting for. In its lasting impression, the film stands as a modern fairy tale rooted in emotional truth. It celebrates the messy, hopeful process of becoming who you are meant to be, reminding viewers that even in the harshest environments, imagination can flourish. Wonka closes on a note of gentle magic, encouraging audiences to carry a piece of that wonder with them long after the story ends.